You may be wondering how Energizer has become the battery empire that we all know and love.
No, not really.
Well, majority of the credit goes to the genius advertising at Energizer headquarters. Over the past century, these genius advertisers have found the best ways to advertise their awesome batteries. However, before we get into the commercials, here is a brief history lesson on Energizer. Energizer was founded in 1896. At the time, it was known as the American Electrical Novelty and Manufacturing Company. In 1973, Duracell actually created the pink bunny icon. However, when Duracell failed to renew its patent on the bunny in the late 80s, Energizer seized the opportunity and stole the trademark. Fun fact, Energizer created the world's first ever AA lithium battery in 1992. And now, here are some of their most effective commercials spanning over several different eras of our history.
What is thy bidding, my master?
There is a great disturbance in the force. It is battery.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer battery. It keeps going and going.
The audience for this commercial were adults, teenagers, Star Wars fans, anybody who knew of Star Wars at the time, which was the majority of the people. This ad's main form of rhetoric was through pathos, and specifically, this was through the use of humor throughout the ad, whether it be Darth Vader's, lightsaber dying because he doesn't have Energizer batteries, or the fact that somehow Darth Vader is fighting a little pink bunny from the beginning. The use of slogans in this commercial does a good job in reinforcing the brand. Nothing outlasts the Energizer, keeps going and going and going. This commercial also centered around one of the biggest pop culture icons of all time, that being Star Wars. This appeals to ethos because everyone knows what Star Wars is, especially at that time when Star Wars was, more fresh and kind of in its prime. Also, this commercial featured the iconic bunny that, we all know and love. The era of the 90s has a very similar zeitgeist to that of the early 2000s. The 90s are known for innovations in technology, great movies, TV, pop culture. Everybody at the time loved Star Wars, whether it be kids, teenagers, adults, women, men. Whether it be adults who had seen it in theaters when it had first come out in the 70s, or kids who were just seeing them for the very first time. In 1994, George Lucas announced the prequels. This created a new craze for Star Wars that hadn't been seen in over a decade, since the release of Episode 6 in 1983. Therefore, with all the hype surrounding the announcement of the new Star Wars movies, seeing a big brand like Star Wars collab with a simple product like Energizer, just being batteries, at the time that may have influenced the common consumer to choose Energizer over Duracell, just because of that one ad that may have made them feel, nostalgic of their favorite movies or excited because of the new announcement of the new movies. As you can see in the commercial, Energizer has introduced a brand new mascot. This mascot being a little battery thing. This ad is similar to that of an action scene in a movie. This appeals to pathos because if you like action movies, you're going to like the ad because it's cool, because the batteries, jumping around, doing parkour, flipping, all this crazy stuff. This commercial also appeals to logos quite well by stating that the Energizer AA lithium battery can take up to 600 photos compared to their competitors' alkaline batteries that can only take up to 60. Like I said before, the zeitgeist of the 2000s was very similar to that of the 1990s. At this time, video games were receiving many improvements, whether it be the release of the PlayStation, the Xbox, the Wii. They were drastically improving just throughout the course of, a 5-year span. CGI was becoming more mainstream. As you can see, the ad kind of parallels that of a CGI action movie scene that was quite popular at that time. Huge advancements in technology were being made, whether it be the release of iPods, the creation of social media networks like Facebook, etc., and new technology, cameras, Wii remotes, other stuff. They needed a battery that could last, and that really was something that Energizer was trying to prove in this specific ad, that if you want a battery that can really last you a while, then get the AA lithium Energizer battery, because it's the best one, obviously. So just buy that one.
Nothing outlasts Energizer Ultimate Lithium. Hey, you can't do that. Can he do that?
Yeah, he's good.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium. It's the #1 longest lasting battery.
For pathos, it mainly focuses on humor, more specifically fourth wall breaking. When it comes to logos, the phrase the #1 longest lasting battery is in reference to logos. Most importantly, the bunny returns. This is huge for Energizer because it's their image, it's their everything. Having the bunny return and break the fourth wall is exactly what Energizer needed to revitalize their ad campaign. While, technically, you could say the zeitgeist of the 2010s would be that of massive expansion in technology and all this other stuff, I would say it mainly focuses on the explosion of media, whether that be social media or just the fact that communication is literally at the tips of our fingerprints. The same can be said for information. For example, your phone has an unfathomable amount of information stored on it. With a single search on Google, you can find anything. The same thing can be said about information. Information is more accessible now than it has ever been, and it will continue to grow. On a lighter note, humor has evolved, whether that be in a good way, a bad way, a weird way. It has definitely changed over the years. Humor has been showing up more in advertisements, especially in Energizer's advertisements. For example, this specific ad relies on fourth wall breaking as its main focus point. And this is because fourth wall breaking has just become a more common thing, especially in commercials, and it's used as a way to almost make fun of itself, to pretend it's like one of us. It's not just trying to brainwash you into buying a product because it's on sale or it's going for a cheap price or it's the new thing. They're trying to get a laugh out of you. They're trying to make themselves seem outside of the commercial, and that it's not just a televised PSA to buy their product. And in my opinion, that works very well with this specific commercial. In conclusion, while the zeitgeist, the products, the commercials may have changed over the years for Energizer, one thing has not, and that is the way they make their commercials. Throughout all eras, Energizer maintains a focus on humor as a form of pathos. And honestly, I can completely see why they haven't changed a single thing, because I believe that each one of those commercials, no matter how drastically different each era was from the next, their market strategy proved to be effective to persuade consumers to purchase their batteries. Thank you for watching.